Glenn Clark Radio, talking about the sports you do and don't know, both within and surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no, stuff and things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants, so Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
It's 2-1. Right side. That's a fair ball. This is into the corner. Carlson to third. Carlson's coming home. Jackson Holliday and the Orioles finally have their walk-off.
Release the
Why not
Dubs.
a double? Indeed.
Release the Griffin. Let the Dubs out. Right?
It's 2-1.
Dubs. Let them go. Got a walk-off, baby. Where are the Dubs? Starting to think you didn't even get Dubs. What the hell is going on around here? Just said, get 100 Doves that you can keep in the studio so that we can release them when the Orioles finally get a walk-off. And there's no Doves.
I got the next best thing.
Yeah, a week later, you got the smelling salts after we found out that the story wasn't even real.
The story wasn't real at all?
Well, no, you can bring your own smelling salts.
Yeah, so it was
The
a real
team-
story. The NFL said you
They're just not going to supply them. They're just
right,
being
it's
cheap.
it's BYO.
That's all it is.
BYOSS.
The entirety of the story is the NFL wants to save the teams a little bit of money. It's not nearly an interesting story, but Griffin a week later brought in smelling salts, so there's that. But that doesn't help us.
They don't
I
sell
wanted
them,
Doves.
They didn't sell them anywhere in person, at least nearby.
Yeah,
and then they got
yeah.
delayed in the shipping, and but we have them
Hi.
now.
Good morning. It is a Thursday
And last night's
edition
game
of
made you
Glenn
want to
Clark
hit 'em,
Radio.
right?
I don't. What? What does that have to do with anything? You do it for celebratory reasons? You do
Do
smelling
it whenever you
salts?
want.
What?
You do. I mean, you've
Thank you
never
for.
done.
You know what?
You've
I
never
got
done.
I got a message from Tim in Bel Air yesterday.
You've
Said,
never done
I
smelling
hope.
salts.
I hope.
So you can't really comment actually.
Yeah, I
'cause
hope that
you've
you
never,
don't get rid of. Right, you have no idea what you're just saying words. You're just derailing the.
You
program.
haven't done smelling salts. You actually
does that
have
do
no
with
right to
anything?
comment on when the proper time to use smelling
Griffin,
salts.
I can't believe I'm doing this right now. What is this?
What is what?
What are
You're
you
coming after
doing?
me.
I'm coming after you because you didn't get Doves. I wanted Doves.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
That's the problem.
yeah, you're right. All right.
We
I
wanted a
guess-
big moment where we
I guess I
released
should-
the
oh, I
goddamn
sh-
Doves, where we freed Grandma from the cage.
I guess I
And
should,
you're like, oh, I didn't even lock Grandma up in a cage. I said, what the hell are you doing? The hell's happening around here? I thought we were going to go live on a roof for a month or something like that until the Orioles finally got a walk-off. And then you're like, nah, we can't do that. But we did get that $10,000, right?
No, I didn't.
Oh, no, you didn't
No,
make the...
I didn't. I told you. I said I was just gonna light it on fire.
Oh, yeah. I said
So-
the gambling odds said you needed to make the bet. So I get the $10,000, which I guess means that I can quit my life as a showgirl. So
Yeah.
there's
You're
that.
set now. You got
There's-
$10,000.
There's that. Hi, it's Glenn Clark Radio, Thursday edition of the program. Coming up today, Steve Beuerlein, former NFL quarterback. Does
John Little Rock's favorite player, favorite quarterback.
Steve Beuerlein?
Yeah.
That's random. What a random choice. Why is that, John?
When he played he went to Notre Dame, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. He was a Notre Dame fan. That was.
Oh, okay. All right. He's an Arkansas guy. He's a Maryland guy. He's a Notre Dame. Who else do you like?
John doesn't hate. Well, I guess John definitely does hate things.
He hates John Proctor, and I do like that. I like that bit. I want that bit to go places. I'm all in for the John Little Rock hates John Proctor bit. He and Drew Forrester both hate John Proctor. You know what? We all do, for the record. We all hate John Proctor. The son of Mel Proctor. Everybody knows that. What else? What are we doing here? Oh, right. Yeah, Steve Beuerlein's going to join us. It's a big day for Steve's because Steve Maclin will be joining us in studio.
Big week for Steve. It's
What
Steve
other
Sands
Steve?
on yesterday.
Oh, we had Steve Sands on?
Yeah.
All right, tell Steve Johnson he's got to buzz in.
Okay.
Check in with Steve Smith if he's not busy. You know.
What could he possibly be busy with?
You know. Rearranging things. If he's not busy doing that, then maybe see if he's got the time. You can play the Steve game. You ready? Go ahead.
Oh, we're doing the Steve game?
Yep, come on.
Steve. I got a friend named Steve Smith as well.
We already used Steve Smith.
Yeah, but this is a different Steve Smith.
No, go.
Steve Smith, the receiver for
No,
the Giants.
no, we already used Steve Smith. We've already used the name. Come on.
We got to do the Steve Smith game.
Come on.
My friend's dad, Steve.
No, it's got to be somebody famous.
Well, there's a lot of famous Steves.
Come on.
Stephen King.
It's Steven. It's got to be somebody who goes by Steve.
His friends call him Steve King.
No, somebody who goes by Steve.
My mechanic's named Steve.
No, just if you want to crown me now, go ahead.
Steve Pierce,
Steve Pierce would be he would qualify. That would. How about Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Yeah, he's a good Steve.
Yeah.
Steve from Minecraft.
I you know what? That counts. I don't know what Steve from Minecraft's last name is. How about
Steve from Minecraft?
How about Steve Jobs?
Oh,
you heard of him?
That guy. What did he do?
What did he do?
I mean, so Steve Johnson doesn't count then?
No, we already used that.
No, okay. All right, Steve Maclin.
Oh my God!
You didn't say he was gonna be on the show yet.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I cut you off before you said Steve Beuerlein's gonna be on the show, and I cut you off.
All right, you know what? Fine. It shouldn't, but I'll give it to you.
Steve Macklin's gonna be on the show.
Oh yeah, from TNA Wrestling, really? How about speaking of Steve Jobs? How about Steve Wozniak?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How about there's other Steves out there.
There's definitely other Steves.
Steve Blake, he was pretty
Steve
good.
Blake is a hell of a famous Steve. How about I'm in a wood chipper, Steve Buscemi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How about the owner of the Baltimore Ravens, Steve
Bisciotti? That's a good Steve. How about the guy that hosts every television show on the face of the planet, Steve Harvey?
Ah, he's a good Steve.
Yeah.
I
got so many.
Should we start doing Steve Power rankings?
We could do Steve Power rankings. I'm down for that. This is why we're never going to be able to get the show in the correct format.
No, we're not
because I'm going to get derailed in the Steve game.
I've
got so many Steves.
I know we want to talk about a really good Orioles pitcher, but there was a good pitcher named Steve Carlton.
Steve Carlton was a hell of a pitcher. How about two-time MVP Steve Nash?
Ooh, okay, that is a good Steve.
Yeah.
How about Captain America himself, Steve Rogers?
Okay, Steve Rogers is a strong Steve. How about Steven? Oh, no, I was going to say Stephen Colbert. I meant Steve Carell is what I meant to say.
So
yeah.
Steven Adams doesn't work.
No, does not work.
Who'd you just say?
I said Steve Carell.
Steve Carell.
Yeah, star of The Office, but not of the paper.
It's a good Steve. Steve. Even Steven?
Who?
Even Steven?
No. Definitely not a thing.
Eve Steve. That's what we called him.
All right, we got to go on. We have so much Trevor Rogers to do.
Steve Curry.
No, just say the words.
We call him Steve Curry.
Say the words so we can get on with the show.
Steve.
Say the words. Say the words.
No, this can't be how it ends.
Oh, say the words. Come on, we got to go. We got to do the show now. Say the words.
It's not 11:10 yet. I got time.
You got 3,
Steve,
2,
Steve,
1.
Steve. I mean,
how about Hall of Famer Steve Young? Say the words.
Stupid.
Say the words.
I guess for today,
say it.
You're the king of the Steves.
I don't think you've ever beaten me in the name game.
Well,
I don't think you've
got about 20 years on me.
Doesn't matter. That means you should know young people named Steve. I was thinking of that DJ, Steve Aoki.
Steve Aoki?
Yeah, I was thinking about him. You should know young people named Steve.
Steve Aoki's kind of old.
Okay, whatever. Shut the F up.
Steve Aoki's been around for a while.
I don't care. God, you're annoying me. But I am the king of the Steves. That's the important part. All right, so yes, the Orioles win last night. Because they hadn't recorded a walk-off win all season, we do put Jackson Holliday on the board as man of the match. I get it, as I referenced last night. I know he wasn't the actual best player of the game. I am quite aware of that. I am aware that Trevor Rogers was the best player on the field. I understand that. It's just the nature of that. That's the nature of it. They haven't had a walk-off. When they allowed the 2 runs the 9th inning, I think we all assumed the same thing was happening. Every one of us said, welp. Okay, in fairness, when they allowed the first run, we all said,
Actually, in
see you tomorrow.
when they put Yenir Cano in, it was over.
I definitely didn't have a good feeling.
Yeah. And then they were like, well, it's okay, we got Keegan Aiken.
Yeah. What were the alternatives, Griffin? They used their one reliever, Dietrich Enns. They did use him. Dietrich Enns, by the way, now in 4 appearances. 5 1/3, 1 earned run, 12 strikeouts, no walks. 1.69 ERA.
Hall of Famer.
Right now, he is their leverage reliever. Dietrich Enns is the guy.
Yeah, if not for
Here in
Trevor Rogers, he could be MVO.
100%. So Jackson Holliday gets to be man of the match. Man of the match brought to you by Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills, Frederick, and Columbia. You can give them a call. This is for men of a certain age, but as I've been reminded...
Steve Cohen.
What's that?
Steve Cohen.
Oh, Steve Cohen would have been a good Steve. I didn't think of Steve Cohen. As I've been reminded, they also offer services to women, like if you're struggling with, stubborn belly fat. They'll talk to you. Give them a call, 443-264-4454 in Owings Mills, Columbia 443-266-3505, or Frederick 240-931-3717. GameDayMen'sHealth.com is the website where you can sign up for a complimentary testosterone test, whatever it is that you're dealing with, whatever that number you're hitting a certain age, you're just not the same. You wake up, you have those, you just feel sluggish, run down. Give them a call or visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com right now. Jackson Holliday's man of the match. The story of the game, of course, is Trevor Rogers. Griffin, I'll let you kind of walk through this collage of notes that were shared last night by various folks on Twitter, because we're working on a scenario where I can see the screen, but we don't have that in place yet. Yeah. So you tell me what it is that you're sharing.
We're looking at a solid tweet shared by Jacob Calvin-Meyer listing Trevor Rogers' appearances this year. And
yes.
Pretty good.
Yes,
pretty good.
Outstanding, to say the least. But the context goes even beyond that. Like, we all know how good Trevor Rogers has been this season. We all can look up stats. We all have that ability to do it. Trevor Rogers, now for the season, after the disaster of last year, Trevor Rogers now 5-2 with a 1.43 ERA and a 0.81 whip. He's been incredible, but the context goes beyond that. What else you got?
We're looking at a list here of pitchers with a sub-175 ERA since May 24th, and there's actually just one name on the list, Trevor Rogers.
Yeah. That seems good.
Yeah.
You have any other context that you could share?
I'm adding more. I'm trying to work on more here. Making it trying to look as smooth as possible.
Yeah, I'm not so worried about that.
Oh, okay. Then how about
we lost 5 minutes playing the name game.
Lowest? Well, whose fault is that? Lowest ERA by a left-hander.
You work here too.
In his first 11 starts. This one from his first 11 starts of a season. This one from Matt Ryrick to open up a season since the turn of the century. Max Fried this year was pretty good, 1.29 ERA.
Not bad.
To start the season. Randy Johnson, maybe you know who he is, back in the year 2000, had a 1.33 ERA through his first 11 starts. And Trevor Rogers will be third.
That seems like good company.
Since 2000.
That seems like the type of waters you want to be swimming in. Anymore?
And then lastly, Jake Rill shared a nice gem here of Orioles starters with an ERA lower than 1.7 through their first 11 starts of a season. Any guesses who might be on the list?
I don't know.
Number one on the list will be Hoyt Willem.
Hoyt Wilhelm.
That's what I said.
You said Hoyt Willem.
It's tighter on my screen. 1.25 ERA in 1959. You remember, but yeah, that's why you know how to say his name, because you were around.
Stan was going to tell us more about it.
Trevor Rogers would be second on that list, 1.43, and then Jim Palmer had a 1.68 ERA in his first 11 starts back in 75.
So you're saying Trevor Rogers greater than signed Jim Palmer?
Yes. Yeah.
That's what you're saying. Trevor Rogers is better than Jim Palmer.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Well,
I don't know.
So that leads to the question, and you start to see it, every time he pitches at this point. If you're convinced that Trevor Rogers is this guy, if this is his story, he is a free agent after next season, sorry. You may remember that recently Trevor Rogers appeared on Glenn Clark Radio, and we brought up the question of, hey, given how things have gone, and his story about how the organization remained committed to him after the disaster of 2024, my question was, does that make you more inclined to want to stick around? Here was his answer.
It's just really special for me to call Baltimore home. And, like you said, it's a business. I would love to be here, but, I can't control that at the end of the day. All I can do is just keep competing and helping this team win. And you never know what could happen, but, Baltimore's been great. And I hope I get to call it home for a little bit longer rather than just next year.
Look, we knew that was going to be the answer, that baseball's a business. He doesn't get to control that. But, yeah, I mean, Trevor Rogers, there's one team he can negotiate with right now. If that team wants to throw him a boatload of money, I think there's no doubt that he would like to stick around, which leads to the question of what is the appropriate amount of money to throw at Trevor Rogers? And, boy, Griffin and I try to do some research on this before the show, and we really cannot come up with what the correct number is. What's the number you throw at someone who's having an exceptional season but is 1 year removed from a disastrous season? Is still young enough that if this is what they're going to be moving forward, you've got one of the top pitchers in baseball for some time to come. But you're not certain this is what he's going to be. The changeup in particular, phenomenal. But it's not, overwhelming velocity. It's you don't know. Is there some safe in between these two things? Because again, if he's this, he's legitimately historic. But is there some in between those two things where he could be a really good starter? Maybe not this. Maybe not even necessarily like a viable major league ace, but still someone worth paying money to. Are you going 4 years, $80 million to try to keep Trevor Rogers around? And it's a genuine question. I don't know the answer. Because the easiest thing in the world to do is to say, well, you got to sign that guy. Well, we've needed to sign everybody, right? Like, I don't think it's quite that simple. I'd love for the Orioles to be the type of organization that it kind of doesn't matter, right? Like, yeah, sign him, and if it goes wrong, who cares? It's easy for us to say that about certain things, but if we're having a legitimate conversation about Trevor Rogers, I don't know if that's the appropriate person to say, just take a risk. Like, if you're going to take a risk, I would have rather you take a big money risk on, a Corbin Burns, a Max Fried type. But could this be that in between where you pull something off, where it's good for Trevor Rogers right now, you give him the comfort of a fair deal, but you take the risk of who was that guy a year ago? I don't know the answer. My gut tells me it's not an extraordinary deal, but something. Yeah, I mean, look, at some point the Orioles have to invest money in baseball players. At some point it has to happen.
Or not, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it doesn't have to, but you'd like to think. You may remember from Trevor Rogers' appearance last week, he told us about a particular superstition that he does very much have. The question was very funny because we asked if he was superstitious, and he told us no, and then let us in on the fact that he is very superstitious in one particular way.
Trevor, were the pants worn again tonight by your wife?
Yes, they were. They were worn, and
that's the thing from last
I'm going to have that conversation again with her to make sure that
we're going to get there one of these
washed and ready
days.
to go
We're going to
for,
one of these
5
days
days from now.
figure it all out. One of
And
these
the thing
days.
is, nobody would have known if you weren't talking.
No. They would have known that what I had set up wasn't. You weren't playing a clip from the show.
Okay, well, when did we discuss
I
that?
just said that.
I know. All right, so next
You-
time, don't
you-
play any clip.
No, you need to listen to the show when I say, this is what happened on the show last week.
All right, well, I didn't have that ready, so that wasn't gonna.
Then you need to say that.
All right. I didn't have that ready. This was the one that we discussed.
Oh, God. We'll get there one of these days, gang. I promise.
I think you're throwing.
Promise
I think you're
one of
throwing
these
curveballs at
days.
me on purpose.
No, I'm not throwing curveballs at you.
I've never
on
been good at hitting
purpose.
curveballs, unfortunately.
Never been the case. get there one of these days.
We never won. All right, whatever.
We'll get there one of these days. I promise and I swear we will get there and we will solve the problem. Yes, last week Trevor Rogers was on the show, and he told us about a significant superstition he has where his wife has to wear the same pair of pants every time he starts. He shared that with us. I would share the clip, but apparently we don't have it, so you can go find it somewhere on some sort of social. And then the clip that Griffin was sharing with you, you would need to know that setup and that context for in order to understand. He was playing a clip of Trevor Rogers being asked about that last night after the game, in which Trevor Rogers said, yes, my wife was wearing the pants. So, tighter show. Tighter show. One of these days, we'll clean it all up for you. But, the update last night was that Trevor Rogers' wife was wearing the pants, and it continues to work. So I do not blame him whatsoever for being ardent about the superstition, as he went 7 last night, allowed just 1 earned run on 4 hits, no walks, and 6 strikeouts. So there you go. That's the Trevor Rogers story. And I did ask today as a think tank, how far would you be willing to go in a commitment to Trevor Rogers? You can go at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter and share your thoughts, because I don't know what the appropriate answer is. This isn't me. This isn't a game. I don't know. I very much am struggling with it, because I do think that it's logical to say, try to do this a year before he hits free agency. I do think that's the case. But I also understand the complications of it. I do get the difficulty of, what if he's the guy he was a year ago? How far can you go on that? I don't know. Let's switch gears this morning. Ravens Cowboys Saturday night in Dallas, week 2 of the preseason. Joining us now, former NFL quarterback and part of the Compass Media Network's broadcast team for the Dallas Cowboys. He is Steve Beuerlein, and he's with us now here on GCR. Steve, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you. Thank you so much for taking some time for us.
Hey, happy to be a part of the show, man. We're at an exciting time of year. I could tell by the emotion, both up and down in your voice, that we're coming into that time of year for sure.
We are, yes, we are coming into that time of year. I imagine it's a little bit more interesting in a place like Dallas, right? We're in Baltimore. We would tell you we're a little bored by the regular season, right? Like, we're just waiting.
Yes. Get
us to the postseason. Let's talk about it then. In Dallas, my God, every day it's something. It's just something. I guess the first storyline that will have nothing to do with what we're going to see Saturday night, Steve, is where is everything with Micah Parsons, and will this just get worked out somehow? Because usually that's how these things tend to happen.
I think that generally is the best way to look at it. There's absolutely no way that Jerry Jones is going to let this fester into the regular season. The disappointment of last year on the Cowboys organization was tremendous. And, you can make excuses. Dak Prescott was hurt last year for over half the season. But, if you think about it, they were 3-5 with Dak Prescott, and he was playing the worst football of his career before he got hurt. So you can't really – that argument doesn't hold up. And so the expectations to get this thing back on track coming into this season are tremendously high. Jerry Jones knows that the clock is ticking for him as much as anybody in the NFL, and he wants to get this thing turned around. There's absolutely no way he can go into the season without Micah Parsons in uniform. So I think everybody believes it's going to get worked out. And nobody's surprised when you really get down and think about it that it's turned a little bit ugly, because these things just have a tendency to drag out with the Dallas Cowboys a little bit longer than most.
Yeah, it always seems to be something. It just always seems to be something these days. Steve, if they do get Micah Parsons on the field, And with a healthy Dak Prescott, what can this Dallas Cowboys team be in 2025?
Well, I think most people believe that this team has the talent, on paper to be a really solid football team. And you just go back 2 years, and when they were healthy with all of their defense, we haven't had Trayvon Diggs and Bland on the field together, I don't think, for more than a couple games in the last year and a half. They've both been dealing with a lot of different injury issues. But we can go on a list of all the things that they've been lacking, the people that have been hurt, all that kind of stuff. But this team won 36 games over the 3-year span before last year in terms of regular season, 3 consecutive 12-win seasons. So the standard is very high. The expectation is very high. It's been very similar to the Ravens in terms of the playoff frustration, not being able to get it done on years where they really felt like they had a chance to make a deep run. So the point of all of it, I guess, is that the expectation is very high. I mean, there are some obvious weaknesses. We don't know really who our running back is going to be. I really am kind of bullish on Javonte Williams coming in and having a chance to kind of reestablish himself and resurrect his career, before it falls away from his window. Got Miles Sanders and we drafted Jaden Blue out of Texas. So we've got 3 guys that are kind of intriguing and interesting. If nothing else, it'd be a nice little 3-man rotation. But I think, you can go down the list and find little areas where you might be a little bit concerned, both sides of the ball. But I think this is a team that really should be competitive in the NFC East. And if they get hot, if they stay healthy, if George Pickens ends up becoming, right, I think, the solid 1B wide receiver that everybody's hoping he will become, that will open up a lot of things for CeeDee Lamb and this offense in general. So they can be pretty good. I'm just not sold on whether Dak Prescott can get this thing to the big game. He's only won his playoff record is 2-5. I saw Lamar Jackson's is 3-5, but they're both guys that have that expectation, but they haven't been able to get it done yet.
Steve Beuerlein is with us here on GCR. Steve, you bring up George Pickens, right? And I think that's very intriguing to everybody, the idea of him when you've got CeeDee Lamb on the other side and how he might be able to feast in those situations. But we also know what comes along with George Pickens, and there's a reason why the Steelers were kind of willing to move on from him, despite the fact that Mike Tomlin maybe deserves a Nobel Peace Prize for what he's done with personalities there. Are the Cowboys, it would, from the outside perspective, the thought would be, so now he's going to be with the Cowboys? And, isn't that a recipe for disaster? What do we know about George Pickens, and how do they handle his sort of mercurial nature?
Well, that's a big question. It's one of those what ifs, again, another one of those scenarios. But the bottom line is that you hope that the experience, the frustration that he had in Pittsburgh was, something that he left in Pittsburgh, and that he can move past, focus on the forward, what's in front of him. He's never had a quarterback like Dak Prescott in terms of being able to get the ball to the outside wide receivers. The quarterback frustration in Pittsburgh documented. So I think that was a source of his frustration as much as anything, just not being able to consistently get anything going with the quarterback from a chemistry perspective. That offense underachieved every single year in Pittsburgh, and that expectations are very high. They have lit up the scoreboard, many times past with this very same nucleus. So I think his attitude is really positive right now. I've heard nothing but good things coming out of camp, and I think the expectation is that he's going to be a good soldier until he proves us wrong.
I wanted to ask you about somebody we are going to see on Saturday night on the other side of the field. That is Cooper Rush, who will be starting for the Baltimore Ravens. And had a couple chances to chat with Cooper Rush. Really like him. Obviously, the hope here in Baltimore is that, frankly, we'll only ever see him play in the fourth quarter of a blowout game. But that being said, I think we all know the story of, hey, if your quarterback goes down for the season, you're almost certainly not going to win the Super Bowl. I know the Philadelphia Eagles a few years ago would argue otherwise, but that question of, like, hey, if your quarterback, if Lamar Jackson, as we knock on wood, were to miss like a few games, 4 or 5 games, something like that, would Cooper Rush be able to keep this loaded Ravens roster afloat in that particular scenario?
I think Cooper Rush is proven to be. I think in that he's going to be ready to play every week. His abilities are what they are. He's very limited in what he brings to the table athletically. He's not a guy that's going to, be able to. He's not going to scare defenses with his arm talent either. But what he's going to do is he's going to get in there, and if you've got a good team around him, he's going to be able to find a way to get the ball to the right guys. And he's proven that he can win, several games, string a few wins together on different occasions. Like you said a few years ago with when it came to an end with the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs, or at the end of the regular season, excuse me. He showed that he could win. I think it was 4 or 5 straight at that time. I wasn't covering the Cowboys at that point, but I remember that run. And then last year, when Dak went out, Cooper came in and ran out, 8 straight games in terms of being the starting quarterback. He got better as the year went along, but he wasn't the reason they were losing. That team kind of fell apart defensively last year. They had absolutely no running game. They had, many other issues that were deeply rooted in that team last year. But I think what you got in Cooper Rush is a guy that can step in and hold down the fort for that 3 or 4, maybe 5 game window at the most. But if it gets any more than that, if you're counting on him to take you
right.
Anywhere more than just a little bit above 500 probably, then I think you're a little bit of a dreamer.
I completely agree. I am certainly, this is the way it goes. Lamar Jackson gets hurt for the year, you're ready for next year. That's the way it's going to work.
That's it. You're right. You're right. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just that very specific scenario, right? We always think about that. Like a couple of games, and yeah, Cooper Rush seems like the type of quarterback, to your point.
And that's pretty much the situation every team in the NFL is in. If your franchise guy goes down, the teams that are lucky to really have a bona fide, solid, established franchise guy, if he goes down, your Super Bowl hopes, as we all know, are probably very, very slim because it's pretty hard to get there and win it without that guy.
You bring up the comparison between Lamar and Dak Prescott in the postseason, and obviously Dak is not quite as accomplished as Lamar is in the regular season, but it's a very realistic comparison on the whole. The argument that a lot of people make that we talk to is, look, when you're as good as Lamar Jackson is, it's only a matter of time, right? Like, save for Dan Marino, Jim Kelly. Like, there's a few that never won one, but most of these types of quarterbacks, these true Hall of Fame great quarterbacks, almost all of them end up winning at least one. Is it as simple as that to you, or do you think it's more complicated, that there might be a real issue with who Lamar Jackson becomes in the playoffs and whether or not he's capable of finally getting the job done?
I think that argument holds up, that Lamar is definitely one of those guys, especially because he's with an organization that has proven under the leadership of John Harbaugh in the front office that they're going to do what it takes to be competitive every single year, and they're going to give this guy a chance to go into the playoffs every year with a roster that can hold up. And I think that's the key. He's going to have several more chances as long as, God willing, he's able to keep going physically. And with his style of play, we all know that's a question mark because he's such a threat running the football. You just never know how that's going to work out as a quarterback ages. But, yeah, he's one of those guys. So is Josh Allen. I wouldn't put Dak Prescott in that category in terms of, maybe the expectation is there that he's a guy that you feel like inevitably is going to get there. there's a lot more question marks about him in the big games and being able to step up and play big at big moments than there are for Lamar Jackson. You're talking about an MVP multiple times over. So I think Josh Allen, I have zero doubt that he's going to get opportunities, and I have zero doubt that Lamar Jackson is going to get those opportunities. And the question is, when it's served up for him, is he going to be able to step up with all the eyes on him, all the pressure on him? Can he step up and get it done and win those big games? We'll see. I think he is one of those guys, though.
Steve, can you do me a favor? When you do see everybody around the building, can you please just send them another thank you from everybody here in Baltimore that they didn't offer Derrick Henry a contract last offseason, if you don't mind for me?
Yeah, that is one. I'm glad we got on that for just a second.
Yeah.
I know we're probably running out of time, but what an amazing athlete that guy is.
He's
and
unbelievable.
My expectations for him are the same thing. I mean, he just doesn't slow down. He keeps on trucking. And that coupled with what Lamar Jackson brings to the table is a pretty potent combination.
Steve, I have to admit, I was the idiot who said, is this the best way to go about trying to close the gap on winning a Super Bowl, is signing a 30-plus-year-old running back? And then it took me all of like 3 weeks to say, right, I'm an idiot. This guy, this guy's one-on-one, man.
There's never been another guy, I think, with that combination and who just keeps getting, seemingly better as he ages. Absolutely amazing. It's incredible. There's no doubt about it. Steve, is there anything that we can plug for you, sir? No, I'm doing great, man. I appreciate it. I think the big thing is on Tuesday night this coming week, Netflix is dropping that big series.
America's
Cowboys
team, right?
America's team, right. But whether you like the Cowboys or not, it's 8 episodes, and it's an incredible story. I was there for the first 2 years in the first Super Bowl. And the second episode focuses on my story, which is really pretty cool, I think, and talks about how I kind of resurrected my career and had a big hand in getting the Cowboys moving in the right direction. That's awesome. In that 1991 season. Yeah, that's I'm really excited. Cool. Yeah. That's really cool. I look, man, those teams obviously were box office, so everybody will be checking that out. There's no question about it. Yeah, well, you look at the 91 season. That was the year that I came in and finished out the year with Troy Aikman going down with a knee injury. Not a major one. He was only going to be out 2 to 4 weeks, but I ran off 5 straight wins and got to the Cowboys to the playoffs for the first time in over 10 years. We won a playoff game with the Cowboys. I was the QB, and the next year we went off and Troy stayed healthy. We won the Super Bowl. So it's a great story how it all happened, and I was glad to be a part of it. That's really cool. That is really cool. We'll look forward to that. Steve Beuerlein, Compass Media Networks. Thank you for spending some time with us this morning, as always. Man, we really enjoyed it and look forward to doing it again, all right? Yeah, I hope we can do it again this year. It'd be fun. Thanks, Steve. Steve Beuerlein, former NFL quarterback, and that's cool. Yeah, I didn't realize that started next week. Jeez. I wonder if we'll see any cocaine use on that. I wonder if there'll be any of that whatsoever. I don't know. All right, scheduled to be joined by Steve Maclin from TNA when we come back. It is a Thursday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantafalo's family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1975. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
This August, the PGA Tour's best are coming to Maryland. The 2025 BMW Championship tees off August 12th through 17th at Caves Valley Golf Club in Owings Mills. See the top 50 players battle it out in the penultimate event of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Don't miss your chance to witness world-class golf, fan experiences, and unforgettable moments. Tickets are on sale now at bmwchampionship.com. The BMW Championship, where legends take the lead.
This August, give your game day an upgrade at Live Casino. Enter to win an ultimate football package. We're giving away over $50,000 in game-changing prizes on Friday, August 29th. Earn entries daily for your chance to score a 100-inch TV, a state-of-the-art soundbar, and so much more. Don't sit on the sidelines. Make your play at Live Casino at Erndale Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, we continue on a Thursday edition of GCR. Don't forget that there is a new print issue of Press Box now available at your neighborhood Royal Farms, any of the hundreds of locations around town where you find Press Box. You can read it all at PressBoxOnline.com. You see, we were just talking with Steve Beuerlein about Derrick Henry. He's right there on the cover. Great story from Bo Smolka about how Derrick Henry has proven to be a unicorn in the NFL with the success that he has found at the running back position after the age of 30. Plus lots of college football and fall college sports previews, meet players from all the area football teams as well as soccer, all that, inside this print issue of Press Box. Again, pick it up for free at your neighborhood Royal Farms right now. Read it all, PressBoxOnline.com. A couple of quick notes. One, the Ravens and Commanders have canceled their joint practice scheduled for next week, or at least the Ravens have. They put out a statement today that just seems kind of weird. Recognizing logistical challenges with our team's previous games scheduled on different days and the added strain on players heading into a short week, the Ravens and Commanders mutually agreed to no longer hold a joint practice next week. Instead, we will concentrate on preparing for our upcoming preseason matchup. That's a word salad, man. Like, you knew what the schedules were when you scheduled the joint practice. What? And, like, everybody keeps talking about how the preseason games don't matter. We were just talking about this with Evan yesterday, right? Preseason games don't matter. Joint practices do matter. Except for this. This is very weird. I don't really care. I don't think it's going to have anything to do with whether or not the Ravens win the Super Bowl. It's just really... Well,
they win the game, though.
Right. I know with the Commanders, that does matter. They care deeply. They were the team that... didn't they famously end the Ravens streak?
Logistical challenges.
It's so weird. Like, were the Commanders, did they not talk to each other? The Commanders were like, you guys got a hotel for us, right? And they were like, oh, dude, you're just down there in D.C. Like, you're just driving up. Like, is that literally what we're talking about that became the problem?
That sounds like a Dan Snyder.
Like, what in the world is this? Again, I don't really care because all I care about is winning a Super Bowl. But it's very weird that they're canceling the joint practice between the Ravens and Commanders next week. I tell you what isn't canceled. It's going to be an exciting week here in Baltimore. A lot going on, including tomorrow night and Saturday night. Tomorrow night, Emergence, the pay-per-view, or TNA Plus special. And then Saturday night, tapings of Impact right here at UMBC's Chesapeake Employers Insurance Arena. Joining us now, current TNA International Champion. He is defending that belt against Jake something tomorrow night. He is Steve Maclin, and he's with us here on GCR. Steve, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you so much for taking the time for us this morning.
Oh, it's good to chat with you as well. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, dude. First of all, I need to thank you. I don't know if you're aware, but I am a close personal friend of AJ Francis, and he's
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, he's the worst human being on the face of the planet now. So I need to give you a sincere thank you for making sure that he wasn't the one to win the international championship, because frankly, he doesn't deserve it. So thank you, brother. It means a lot to me.
You are welcome, I promise. Thank you so much.
Hey, Steve, for those that don't know your backstory, right? Like, it's really compelling to me. You served our country. Did you know, like, as you were doing all that pro wrestling was something that you wanted to do? Was it in your blood? Or how did you get to this point? Obviously, we know the time that you spent in WWE, but, like, how did this happen to go from that to this?
So I grew up on pro wrestling. My parents both worked night and day shifts, so I kind of lived with my grandparents for a while. My grandmother was a diehard Roddy Piper and Andre the Giant fan.
Dope.
And that's who I grew up watching. And then I fell in love with Ultimate Warrior just because everybody was a Hulk Hogan guy. I was like, nope, I like this guy. He's different. And then Bret Hart came along. Then Stone Cold came along. And that was the end of it. I was a fan ever since I was 6 years old. And just, it was something that was always in my mind that I could possibly do down the road, and never thought possible because of these larger than life characters. And then when I was in the Marine Corps, Darren Young, now Fred Rosser, was I was home on leave. He's at one of the bars I was going to in New Jersey, in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And he was just hanging out, and one of my buddies that was on Independence said, "Hey, do you want to talk to a guy from WWE?" I was like, "Yeah." Like, fuck yeah. It's like, why wouldn't I? I'm sitting here just chatting. So he got the idea in my head. He's like, "Hey, you have a good backstory, and it's something that you could possibly do." Wrestling's kind of changed. And then I got out of the Marine Corps in 2011. I started at Paulsboro Monster Factory, where I started training. I was there for about a year and a half, and then I was signed to WWE by Gerald Briscoe. He found me.
Wow.
And I started there in January of 2014, and then here we are, fast forward to 2025, and I am the first ever TNA International Champion.
Dude, that's dope, man. I love that it was always in your blood. It was always something that you wanted to do. Was your grandma still alive when you?
She is. Yeah, no,
she's still alive today.
now.
Dude, how cool is that then? Like,
yeah, it's really cool and surreal, and she's got a little bit of dementia, but it's pretty cool to
man,
share that.
Wow, that's awesome, dude. Like, what did that mean to you that she got to see you like perform? That she's been able to see you perform at the highest level after you all had those like moments growing up?
Between her and just my parents in general, from bringing me to wrestling shows at the Continental Airlines Arena, which became the Izod Center in East Rutherford, New Jersey, going to just live events, the Garden, and just, it's funny how, like, when I first got into it, my mom wasn't really on board, but my dad was. When he came to one of my independent shows, and he goes, "Is this what you want to do?" And it was just after I got out of the Marine Corps. And I was like, "Yeah, this is what I want to do." He goes, "Just go all in, give it everything you have." I said, "No problem."
Man.
So it's just, it's really cool, especially have them come behind the scenes, and they get to see like the Hardys. They get to they've got to meet all my heroes growing up, and like to me, it's just like, oh, that's Jeff, that's Matt,
right.
That's
My coworker.
There's normal people like that are there, and my parents are just like, this is crazy.
Man, that's awesome, dude. I'm so happy for you. That is so freaking cool, man. Steve Maclin is with us in TNA here on GCR. Steve, you know, I referenced, obviously, you referenced the time you spent in WWE. Clearly, like the way that kind of all unfolded was unfortunate, right? Like you have this gimmick, it's working, and then stuff beyond your control happens. Can you take me through like where you were feeling? Were you worried that like, dude, I might never recover from this? And to become what you become now in TNA, where you are legitimately one of the top stars in the company, like from there to here, what has that part of the journey meant to you?
So I look at my 7.5 years in WWE as I got to learn television. I got to learn the insides outs of the business on that level of the biggest company in the world. And then TNA being right behind that for so long. And I look at it as a blessing in disguise from the time that I left. There are things that happened unfortunate and that were way out of my control, yes. Mm-hmm. But to me, it would have never got me to the point I am in my career now as a singles wrestler. I was very much in a tag team. But here now I'm being able to show the world who Steve Maclin is and who I want the world to see who Steve Maclin is. And I've got to be a world champion. I'm the TNA International Champion. I get to travel the world. I get to do radio shows like this. Like maybe those opportunities would have come, but you never know. And things happen for a reason. We don't know why. Do I look back and was I annoyed at the time it did happen? Yes. But I took it on the chin, and I just kept my head up, and I kept trucking along. And like I say, front towards enemy is on every jacket, on every one of my shirts, and that's pretty much how I live my life.
I love it, man. That's awesome. The it's not just being in TNA and being able to star, but in this moment for TNA, right? And we've talked a lot about this recently. The electricity that you guys had just a couple weeks ago, particularly for you, right? Like that show being so close to your home. Can you describe what that was like? Just that, there's a packed giant arena, and you guys riding all of the highs that you've been riding. Can you describe what that was like?
For Slammiversary to be in Long Island and to have the biggest gate in North American history for TNA in ever was awesome. For AJ Styles to return home with the working relationship we have with WWE now and NXT, it opened up that door for something that nobody thought would be possible. And to just do it in my backyard as well, and to go out there and just kind of look at the crowd and be able to see that upper deck kind of full up there for once. It was a surreal moment for me, especially being able to be a representative from Rutherford, New Jersey. And then that's also the thing now is to how do we get better than that? How do we build upon that? How do we make that bigger? And that starts this Friday at Emergence here in Baltimore.
Dude, and how much have you guys been talking about that? Because that's everybody's talking about, there's the excitement. You mentioned the relationship with WWE. Does it become like almost a friendly AJ talks to me about how the locker room is and the way that you guys interact with each other and how different for him it was even than during his time in WWE. Like everybody's sort of on the same level. There's no somebody's standoffish or they're the star and they're not. Everybody seems to be competing together or working together. How does that work to do exactly what it is that you just referenced and how you build off of these highs that you guys have experienced in the last few months?
I think for the longest time, TNA's been the underdog, and they've always had that underdog mentality, and that's never kind of gone away from the locker room on the men's and the women's side, where the knockouts had to stand out and they were a different division, and they brought women's wrestling onto a different level completely from the Gail Kims, the Awesome Kongs, my wife, Deonna Purrazzo, the Virtuosa, Jordan Grace, the list goes on. And now having that working relationship, especially on the men's side of things too, where it's just everybody's fighting from underneath. We always have that chip on our shoulder where we're not number one. We always want to be number one, and we treat ourselves as if we're number one, but the world doesn't see that. And if they do see that, that's great. But we're always going to try to act like we're fighting for that number one spot. And I think that's something that the locker room can attest to every time we go out there.
I love that, man. Let's just call it like it is. Like, with all due respect, Jake Something is going to get murdered this weekend, correct?
Listen, he is a specimen of a human being.
Yes.
Like, if you are looking at pro wrestling and you look at a pro wrestler or think of a pro wrestler, he is an embodiment of everything you would. He's kind of like that Mike Awesome type, body type from ECW back in the day in WCW. But for me, this is a match that we've been wanting to have for a while and a feud we've been kind of building towards. Did I wish this happened at Slammiversary? Yes, but that was out of our control. Sometimes you can't do things that you want to do. You have to kind of roll with the punches. But now that we have this no disqualification, no count-out matchup here at Emergence on Friday, I'm very much looking forward to it. And he wants to say that this title was made for him. Well, it may be made for him at some point, but not on Friday night.
It's Friday night, again, Emergence at Chesapeake Employers Insurance Arena. And then, as we mentioned, they'll be back on Saturday as well, taping TNA Impact. Steve, for anybody that hasn't been out to see TNA live, can you just describe how maybe it's a little bit different than any other pro wrestling show that they've been to?
It's exactly that. It's TNA wrestling. It's pro wrestling. And if it's from top to bottom, the start to finish of the card, you're going to see anything that you would want to see in pro wrestling is going to be there, from the knockouts, the X Division, the international champion, myself, Bulletproof Steve Maclin, our world champion, who I hate to say that is our world champion, and Trick Williams.
Yeah.
Who has a match against Moose, and the first time I'm ever rooting for Moose to actually win a match. Yeah, you're going out there and you're going to see some of the best professional wrestling in the world.
Yeah, it's time to save TNA, for God's sakes. It's time that we get that fixed. There's no doubt about it. Steve Maclin, I know that everybody can give you a follow on social. It's just at Steve Maclin on Twitter and on Instagram, correct?
That's correct. On just Twitter and Instagram, and also Pro Wrestling Tees, Steve Maclin Store, and then also on TNAWrestling.com for shop all merchandise for Steve Maclin as well. I have a brand new Hold the Line shirt out there, so please wear it, know who lows the line for TNA.
I love that, man. Steve, thank you for your service in defeating AJ Francis, but also thank you for what you did for our country as well. Appreciate you taking the time for us this morning, man. Can't wait to see you out there this weekend.
No, thank you guys for having me.
Steve Maclin from TNA with us here on GCR as they are getting ready for Emergence tomorrow night. And then tapings on Saturday at Chesapeake Employers Insurance Arena. Did I see that Griffin Bass, you're making a celebrity appearance tomorrow night?
I believe so, yeah. I think there's going to be a whole red carpet for me and everything.
You are now. Is there going to be like a run-in or anything like that? Or you?
We'll see. I'm not going to roll it out.
You should talk to Steve about whether or not he needs a little muscle.
I mean, yeah, Steve is still hanging out. Steve, if you need any help,
if you need,
I will be
if
there.
you need. Right. I think he could do better than you, but you know what I mean.
Well, I don't know about that.
No, I'm going to try to get that. As everybody knows, I'm very busy this weekend, but I'm going to try to get out there tomorrow night as well. It's very awkward for me because AJ's a piece of crap now. It's, one of my best friends on the face of the planet, but he's a terrible human being. It's very awkward, very uncomfortable for me. I won't forgive him for what he did to Casey. Not going to do that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. It got into a heavy debate with my wife about whether or not I can bring the kids tomorrow night. Heavy debate. I'm like, I told him like they would love to see Uncle AJ. Like they would love to. AJ, this is the funny part about being such a heel is he really is. When we were down at Disney World, AJ like drove across Florida to come spend the day at the pool with my boys. The day that we took one day, we went to all 4 parks, and the 5th day we just hung out at the resort that we were at. And he came over that day and just spent like an hour throwing them into the pool. Right? Like it kills me because he really is a tremendous human being. But I said, hey, I think the boys would like to see Uncle AJ while he's in town. And she's like, well, if he can come to the pig roast, then yeah. I said, right, but they've got a show again on Saturday, and they have things they have to do beforehand. Like, he's got a really early call time. It might not work out. So I'm trying to go on Friday night. She's like, well, they're going to be, doing things all day on Saturday, and they need to get some sleep. And I'm like, it's the summer. It's the damn summer. Why are we worried about this? Like, what are we doing here? Come on, man. Let them live. Then they act like a-holes, and I'm like, no!
Okay. Yeah.
Swear to God.
So you have to take it away.
We set up the hydration station last night. You're really going to not play slip cup so you can hit the hydration station afterwards? Okay. So we're setting up the hydration station last night, and, like, legitimately at one point, my younger son was swinging around one of the poles that goes into the hydration station and hit my older son in the head. He's fine. But it's just all of the things that we talked to them about, like be aware of your surroundings. Why would you ever be doing this? And, like, I have that moment where now, like, he's mad at me. This is what I get from Griffin whenever I tell him he did something incorrectly.
I mean, you should have been watching him.
No, it's your fault.
You should have been
like,
watching
no, I set up a clip. We need to hit that clip. This is what I get back from my son, like where I say, like, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? And instead of being like, yeah, I screwed up, I'm sorry, which is all you need to be said, we get everything other than that. He just starts pouting. He just starts turning into a brat. And then there's the moment where I'm like, you know what? Your mom's right. We're not going. Get it. You don't get to see
now
Uncle
you're
AJ.
heel.
Yeah, now I'm the heel. Hey, man, that's what it is. But yeah, that's tomorrow night. Looking forward to that. Do we have some tickets that we can give away for Saturday night?
I believe so.
Pair of tickets. If you want to check out TNA Impact at Chesapeake Employers Insurance Arena on Saturday night, email producer at PressBoxOnline.com. Email producer at PressBoxOnline.com. All you got to say is, I want the tickets. That's it. And someone will be picked at random. We'll do that tomorrow. So you'll have, if you don't listen to the show until tonight, or tomorrow morning, we'll pick a winner at noon on Friday. So anybody who wants the tickets, just email. And, that is awkward because they would have to pick them up here, right? Because they are physical tickets.
Yes.
All right, so you got to be able to pick them up here by...
Or tomorrow night. I guess we could see you tomorrow because... Yeah. I guess. All right.
We can also leave them. There's a way. You got to be able to pick up the tickets in Towson. Is all I can say. We'll have a method for if you can't get here until after we close. We'll have a method for that. But you have to be able to pick up the tickets in Towson. So that's the only catch. All right, we'll come back in. A couple of funny baseball-related nuggets, tidbit, two-bit to wrap it up. Today's show also brought to you by County Sports Zone, countysports.zone. High school sports season just about set to get underway. Everything you need to know about high school sports in the state of Maryland. Scores, schedules, rankings, every team, every sport all throughout the state. Countysports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantopoulos family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1970. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
This August, give your game day an upgrade at Live Casino. Enter to win an ultimate football package. We're giving away over $50,000 in game-changing prizes on Friday, August 29th. Earn entries daily for your chance to score a 100-inch TV, a state-of-the-art soundbar, and so much more. Don't sit on the sidelines. Make your play at Live Casino at Erndale Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Bo Smolko profiles Ravens running back Derrick Henry and how the football legend has proven to be a unicorn at the position with the success that he's found after the age of 30. Also inside, Brandon Schwartzberg looks at Kobe Mayo's push to find rhythm at the big league level. And we mark the start of the college football season by meeting players from all 4 FBS and FCS programs throughout the state. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Thursday edition of the program. One other quick note that from football that is to me just super weird. Like as weird as it is the Ravens and Commanders, who cares? Adam Schefter reports this morning, Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice is expected to have his disciplinary hearing with the NFL on Tuesday, September 30th in New York. This means that Rice now is likely to be able to play in the first 4 weeks of this season before any potential discipline is imposed for his role in a multi-car crash in Dallas during the 2024 offseason. What the F? And I'm not, the immediate follow-up is you're just saying that because that means he's going to play against the Ravens. No, not at all. But for what it's worth, as Adam Schefter then retweeted, he's eligible to play the first 4 weeks of the season in games against the Chargers in Brazil, the Eagles, at the Giants, and the Ravens. What? Why? What am... Adam Schefter writes for ESPN.com, following his disciplinary hearing with the NFL on the league's disciplinary process, Rice is still expected to receive a multi-game suspension from the league for violating the league's personal conduct policy. Rice would have to serve his suspension immediately. Am I missing something here? Am I the idiot? And I'm not trying to say that like Rashee Rice should be hung in effigy or anything along those lines. This is not like a go at what am I missing? This isn't new. This isn't like, oh, we just heard about this. We couldn't possibly have time to deal with it. The season doesn't start still for the better part of a month. Today is August 14th. The Chiefs' first game isn't even, they don't even play in the Thursday night opener.
Yeah, but they play on Friday,
They play the
right?
Brazil
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is, that's the 5th?
Yes.
The 5th.
Yeah, the 5th.
The Chiefs don't play till the 5th. That means there's, again, most of a month still before they play a football game. They've known about this for months. What in the ever-loving F is going on?
So they can't do just like a indefinite suspension or something until
or
this,
schedule this today.
or schedule it today,
or last month. Or
next week,
whenever. And I maybe the argument is the investigation is still ongoing. But do you understand how weird this sounds? That someone's actions were so awful that they have to be suspended, but not yet. And do you understand how, for conspiracy theorists, that leans right into,
they play a game on,
You-
they standalone game the opening week.
And then a big game against the Ravens.
2 weeks later, or 3
a
weeks
marquee.
later,
What time? Wait,
is that Sunday night?
I don't remember if that's
It's a 4:25 game.
4:25. So it's a marquee CBS, I assume.
Yes.
CBS national window game.
And Paramount Plus.
Right. Now I get it. The Chiefs play in a lot of those, so like it's hard to pick out which one matters more than another. But you're asking for conspiracy theorists to be like, that's really weird. Also, the Super Bowl rematch is in there? You want to make sure Rashee Rice is on the field for those big games. Brazil, Super Bowl rematch, Ravens matchup. That's when you're choosing to hold the disciplinary hearing. And I'm not here to tell you that's what it is. I'm not here to feed into it and say that's what the NFL is doing. But when somebody brings it up, what am I supposed to say in response? Well, there's no way that could be true because this makes no sense.
The only way for it to make sense is that after this hearing, they don't suspend him at all, right?
That's the only thing that would make it make sense is they don't think he needs to be suspended, right? Like to them, it's not that big of a deal, which again seems odd considering the nature of the crash. Like, it was pretty awful. I can, and he fled the scene, right? Like, there's a lot there that was bad related to that crash. We go back to on March 30th, 2024, Rice was a driver of a Lamborghini Urus involved in a high-speed hit-and-run crash on North Central Expressway in Dallas. Blah, 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 blah. 4 of the vehicles were damaged in what Dallas police called a chain reaction collision after the Lamborghini struck a retaining wall. Video obtained by the Dallas Morning News shows 5 men disembarking from the Urus and the Corvette and leaving the scene on foot without checking in on the occupants of the other 4 vehicles. Now, the argument that they would make is that, well, we knew about this last offseason. He wasn't suspended, so clearly they allowed him to play without suspension before.
And then he got hurt, yeah.
But in July, on July 17th, Rice pleaded guilty to 2 third-degree felonies, 1 count of collision involving serious bodily injury and 1 count of racing on a highway causing bodily injury. So, again, we know he was sentenced to 5 years of probation and 30 days of jail time. It's unknown when he's going to serve the jail time. They knew that on July 17th. It's been adjudicated. It's just weird that they continue to wait. It's weird for everybody involved. It's weird not just for the Chiefs. It's weird for the teams they're facing. It's weird for fantasy football players that we're trying to figure out when they wanted to draft Rashee Rice and hey, maybe we wouldn't have him for the first 4 weeks, but then when we get into bye week, that would be helpful to have Rashee Rice come.
I guess look at the rest of their schedule. So they have 3 primetime, or they have 2 primetime games. So it's the Friday night game, and then they play Sunday night against the Giants week 3, and then they have the Ravens week 4.
Mm-hmm.
So then let's say they do decide to suspend him, 4
4
games?
weeks, right, something like that.
So then they play on Monday Night Football the next week
Right.
at Jacksonville.
Right.
Then they play Sunday Night Football again against the Lions. But
That
that's
one's pretty marquee.
But since that's an inter-conference whatever,
maybe
it's a cross-conference game. Then they have the Raiders at 1 o'clock, and then they are Thursday night. Is this?
To
Thursday
the point,
night against the Commanders.
There is a difficulty because the Chiefs play so many of these marquee games. They are the Chiefs. When I say this,
Monday night. It's Monday.
That's the difficulty that the conspiracy theorists would have in making the argument, right? Is why are these 4?
Well, and then if they say it is 4 games, then the next week is the Bills. So it's so maybe they're trying to be we want the game against the Ravens and Bills.
Yeah, what's the part of the schedule that's the least harmful
to conference games?
Yeah, something I don't know. I have no idea, and I don't even like traipsing into this conversation because it's so conspiratorial. But that's what it makes no sense that they are waiting to do this. I'm sorry, Roger Goodell just isn't available for that. You can't get the guy on an effing Zoom call? It's so bizarre, man. So bizarre. But again, look, the Ravens have to beat the Chiefs whether they have Rashee Rice or not. They have to figure out how to beat the Chiefs again. They've only ever done it the one time. They need to figure out that part of it for sure. It's just, this is super weird. It's super, super freaking weird. Oh, God, we're already running late again. This is what we do. I was going to try to run out the BMW. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Today's show is also brought to you by the Maryland 5-Star. The Maryland 5-Star is back this October at Fair Hill in Cecil County, maryland5star.us with the number 5. To get your tickets, it's the 5th edition. It's going to be the best. It's not just the Triple Crown of equestrian sports. It's also a celebration of fall in the state of Maryland. Maryland 5-Star with the number 5.us. 2 things that I got a kick out of. The Angels were playing the Dodgers last night. Shohei Ohtani struck out Mike Trout. Did I see that? Correct?
I think twice.
Did he twice? Yeah. And he was at the plate.
He's so insane. He struck him out looking twice, actually, because one was he went 5 straight fastballs.
But were they strikes?
Yes, they were.
Okay.
Yeah, these ones were.
Right.
Yeah, he went 5 straight fastballs the first time, and then he all upper 90s, and then he threw a sweeper at 75 and froze him. Looking, and then the next time he struck him out, he mixed it up more, but then he struck him out with a 101 mile per hour fastball
crazy.
right down the middle, and he froze him.
That's crazy. That wasn't one of his at bats. Was the story early in the game? These were the Dodgers announcers on Sportsnet in LA, Sportsnet LA, who were a bit befuddled by the guy behind the plate.
2.22 ERA. Ball. Excuse me. Strike 1.
You're going to have to wait tonight. We've got a veteran umpire behind the plate that is a veteran umpire.
Jeez. All right. 2-2. CB Buckner is the home plate umpire. Adam Beck at first. Dan Iassoni at second. And Scott Berry at third.
Yeah. It was a good night for old CB Buckner. As the internet pointed out, he missed 7 balls and strikes in the first inning alone.
Oh, my God.
Alone last night. 7 balls and strikes in just the first inning. And the Dodgers broadcast team was having some fun with that. That was the leadoff hitter, Shohei Ohtani. And then our friend RDT, Eric Arditi, Exit 52 and Barstool Sports, he found this and was sharing it with everybody. Apparently, there is some long-standing promotion in Milwaukee.
Correct.
It
It
has
happened
existed.
once before.
I think it might have happened twice before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it? I thought it was just 12. Okay, maybe, or maybe it happened like way before. The last time it happened was like 1977 or something.
Yes, I think that's the case.
Yeah. So maybe it happened again before that.
Hang on a second. I can try to pull up the because he wrote about it for Barstool. It's a restaurant called
George Webb.
Or the restaurants. George Webb Restaurants. They had a promo that's existed since the 1940s that said that Wisconsin residents win a free burger if the Brewers win 12 straight games, which is so random. Like, what a random thing to have in existence. But it's happened. And apparently, they didn't have their, ducks in a row with their messaging about how this would work. So, they have to be prepared for this. Apparently, you'll get your free burger next week. Well, someone...
That works. I mean, let's talk about us to steal a base.
Messaging not lined up, and it led to this tremendous 911 call.
227 at George Webb, 19555 West Blue Mountain Road. We called 911 because they won't give him his free burgers for the Brewers game today. He was advised the game wasn't over yet. Not sure if the subject is still standing by. 227 at George Webb, 195.
Called 911 because he didn't get his free burger. And you know what? To some extent, I understand the guy's frustration. It's poor. You knew they were at 10. When they were at 9-10 wins, you needed to start.
Well, the thing is, they'd already won 11 in a row this year.
Right.
So
clearly then they needed to have had a better messaging. And the Brewers are fun, and the Pat Murphy's Pocket pancakes, and everybody's really, the Brewers have sort of become America's team a little bit. But this is on George Webb Restaurants for not at 9 or 10 wins. They got to start getting the messaging out. Clearly people are talking about it again. You need to get the appropriate messaging out. Hey, if they get the 12 the following week, so that everybody knows, send it out to all the radio stations, send it out on social, send it out on TV. You need to get clear messaging out so that people know they're actually getting their free burger and that you're going to do the right thing and pay it off.
It probably would be smarter to do start the promotion day of or the next day, so that way, because now everyone knows that August next week, August 18th is going to be
I understand
day.
the argument of apparently they've had to order an S ton of extra meat in order to be prepared for the burger. I understand the situation that they're in. This is from Tom Walks, WCHS, who's at Fox 6 in Milwaukee. We heard from George Webb tonight. They have ordered 25,000 pounds of meat and are expecting to give away over 100,000 free burgers next week. They will make an announcement today about when you can get that free burger. It will be sometime next week. I'm going to go out to Milwaukee. You ready to make a road trip next week? Go do a road trip
Call that
show?
Milwaukee for
100%. All right, let's get a tidbit. Tidbit is brought to you today by Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, the best place to watch every big sporting event. Start making your plans for a football season. Nowhere better than Sports and Social. 100-foot media wall, great food, just steps away from the FanDuel Sportsbook. Maybe make a weekend out of it, like that first weekend. You could do your fantasy draft inside Sports and Social if you did that college football weekend. Nowhere better to be. Sports and Social, Live Casino and Hotel.
And, of course, UFC 319.
Yes,
since,
of course.
No fighting words today.
There's
a lot to talk about.
Is there?
I mean, yeah.
I know, there's the Paramount thing. I understand. What do you want to say?
I don't know. Seems like a pretty good deal. We're gonna see we'll see how they screw it up.
Right. that is the. When you say it seems like a pretty good deal, it's based on the for the premise is if this means the death of pay-per-view, that would seem like a good thing, right? The question becomes: are they really going to keep Paramount Plus pricing at the exact same?
Unlikely. Yeah, David Sampson, of course, the business, sports business.
Former Marlins team president.
Yeah, he was on Hawani's show, and he was and he said he was guaranteeing that before the second quarter of 2026, we'll see a price hike in Paramount Plus, and probably could be sooner than that.
The question is, will it be a price hike for everybody across the board, or will it be a specific price hike in order to include the UFC pay-per-views? And that's the part that I don't know the answer.
Talk about messaging.
Right?
There's been a lot of
this is
just
the problem
loosely reported.
We were just talking about with ESPN and WWE, where nobody really understands. Do I need to pay for this? Do I get it with my cable provider? Like, it's been horribly messaged. It's the same right now. It comes off like a huge win for UFC fans. If you like the UFC and you've been paying for pay-per-views or, stealing them illegally, you no longer have to do those things. You just have to be a Paramount Plus subscriber. A lot of people had Paramount Plus. They like Landman or they like SpongeBob
Top
or
Gun,
whatever it is that they're into. That's the way they watch the NFL. So, yeah, sure, you have Paramount Plus. Now you like Stephen Colbert. This is
like Stephen Colbert for 5 more months.
Right. Yeah, you already had this, so now it's great. This is just saving me money until you find out that's not the case. Because if the UFC price, paying that means you're going to raise prices for Paramount Plus across the board, and there's going to be a lot of people that don't give a rat's ass about UFC that are going to be inclined to say, no, I'm good. Thanks, but no thanks. Paramount Plus is maybe the subscription service I use the least. Of all of them, and while others are raising prices, this isn't my thing. I'm not a UFC fan, so deuces, I'm out. Or will they specifically pass the buck off to UFC fans and say, look, you can still have Paramount Plus at a normal price, but if you want the UFC package, it's going to be this number per month. We don't know. We'll find out. But I think it's very unlikely that it's just rolled into one simple cost that you're already paying, and that's the end of it. It ends there.
Either way, it will save fans money who have been shelving out, $80, $90 a month.
If you bought every pay-per-view, yes. Which, why would you be doing that when you can go to Live Casino and Hotel and watch them for free at Sports and Social? But if uniquely you've been doing that and been paying for every pay-per-view, then it would seem like no matter what, this would probably be cheaper than that. But that's a very it's a narrow sphere that we're discussing of UFC fans.
Tidbit. Jose Ramirez.
Hang on, I wanted to say. I'm trying to think. There was one other thing I wanted to say about this.
Okay.
Oh, the other part that is very confusing is the idea that maybe UFC pay-per-views are just going to be on CBS now.
Yeah. Well, it sounded like from what I've seen, it sounds like they want to do they've blocked off at least 4 events. It sounds like they will have 4 events on CBS, maybe the White House one, and then maybe 3 other marquee.
But is it going to, because this is always the argument that they wanted to get on networks in the past. They did the UFC, the first UFC on Fox was Brock Lesnar and somebody else, and then every UFC on Fox after that was kind of a glorified fight night. They still defaulted to pay-per-view after that. So that's another part of this that is it going to be that they're going to do one big UFC on CBS, and maybe that's the White House, or are they going to do...
Well, see, because Dana also said something that was very, he was like, it's not the death of pay-per-view, but we could, or it was something like there could still be special events. So that could be anything.
Terribly messaged.
And if is that one event a year, then that's a special event? Is it going to be 12 events? What they normally do? Either way, it's I don't know. I'm excited for something different because I feel like their product had grown stale. I feel like their product had grown stale. This will force things to be shaken up in some way, and it's more money for the fighters. Dana's already said that the bonuses will go up for fighters.
Believe it when I see it.
I'm also in that camp as well. This week's card looks pretty fun. They're in Chicago. Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev for the middle.
This is a pay-per-view on
Yes,
Saturday
this
night.
is a pay-per-view.
So get to Live Casino and Hotel. Watch it at Sports and Social.
Very excited for this fight. Jose Ramirez had a 2-home run game the other night. I think it was Tuesday. He is the franchise leader for most multi-homer games in Cleveland Guardians history now, with 27. Do you know who has the most multi-homer games in Orioles history?
Cal Ripken.
Cal Ripken is number 1. Yeah. 21 such games for Cal Ripken. There's 5 guys that have had 19 multi-homer games.
19 multi-homer games. Eddie Murray.
Eddie Murray is number 2, tied for second with 20.
Brooks.
Brooks is not.
But he just played here for a long time. Frank.
Brooks had 8. He's 21st. Frank Robinson is not in
Boog
the
Powell.
top 5. Boog Powell is. He's tied with Eddie Murray. Cal, Eddie, Boog, 2 more with 19.
Brady.
Not Brady. Brady is 6th.
Palmeiro.
Palmeiro is 11th.
Adam Jones.
Jonesy's 10th.
Okay. Chris Davis.
Chris Davis had 19 multi-homer games as an Oriole.
And Manny Machado.
Manny Machado tied with Chris Davis, 19 multi-homer games in the top 5. Rounding out the top 10, Jim Gentile had 14, and then Anthony Santander had 16 multi-homer games. He's 7th on the
Jake
Orioles.
Rill had this. Jackson Holliday, the third.
Oh, yeah, I did want to show that one, too.
Oh, you got that?
Yeah, go ahead.
The third youngest to record a walk-off hit in the past
I don't
50
know if I
years for
remember.
the Orioles. The two younger were?
Cal Ripken?
No.
Was Brooks on there?
Nope.
Frank Robinson.
Nope. They are two names we've said.
Yeah, Eddie Murray.
Eddie Murray, 21.
Eddie and Boog.
No, Eddie and...
They're two names we said. I was about to say Gus Triandos.
Nope, not Gus Triandos. Tom Davis brought up Gus Triandos.
Jim Gentile.
Manny Machado. We just said it. 20. He was the youngest. 20 years, 69 days into 2012. All right. Tidbit was also brought to you by the Stan Fan Variety Hour. Stan, Ross, and Luke every Monday talking baseball. Facebook.com/PressBoxSports. YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline or PressBoxOnline.com/video. As always, Stan's shows are brought to you by the Costas Inn.
Okay, everybody, it's going to be quick today.
What was the main focus today, Coach?
Fundamentals, ball control. It's always huge.
Any early thoughts on the competition this year?
Well, look, this is the best of the best players in the world. It's going to be an amazing tournament.
Tournament?
Yeah, the BMW Championship at Caves Valley. What are you guys talking about? All they ever ask me about is football.
Here's what's coming up totally tubular-wise. Orioles this afternoon wrap up the series with the Mariners. 1:05 on Masson 2, Logan Evans and Tomo Sagano. The rest of the country can see it on MLB Network. So you got that going for you.
Or not if you're in Seattle, I guess.
What's that?
Not if you're in Seattle.
So the rest, well, okay, got it. Well, the rest of the country besides those two markets.
My brother was mad this week because he's like, why can't I watch the Orioles? And I'm like, well,
But they
black
don't-
out. Because he has MLB TV, but he can't watch them this week because he's in Seattle.
Well, can't you watch it on local TV in Seattle?
He doesn't have like cable. No.
That is annoying. That's annoying. BMW Championship underway right now on ESPN Plus from Caves Valley. It starts on the Golf Channel at 2 o'clock. And everything else, go to glennclarkradio.com and find it there. What matters non-sports-wise?
I wanted to see who was leading. Probably nothing. Bob Odenkirk and Margaret Qualley will be on Fallon.
They're actually plugging oddly Novocaine 2, which is way down the road. I know it seems odd.
Announced
but
that? I don't know if I feel like I would have seen that. Not really. There's a Chiefs docu-series if anybody's interested in that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Disney
super
Plus and
interested.
ESPN Plus.
Super interested in.
The Harlem Globetrotters versus the Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders on Celebrity Family Feud.
Can't miss that. No doubt. Can't miss it. Everything else. Glenn.
Griffin's leading the BMW Championship.
Oh, how about that? Who is that?
B. Griffin.
Blake Griffin?
I think so.
Blake Griffin is leading the BMW Championship?
Benjamin Griffin.
That would seem like big news.
Benjamin Griffin. He's actually tied with Scotty right now.
Whoever that is. Benjamin Griffin. Good for him.
Go Ben.
Imagine him like walking around
Go
like
Griffin.
town. They had the Jonas Brothers concert last night. I didn't even know that was a thing until my buddy started messaging me about it.
Oh, he's a Tar Heel. I don't know.
They did like on the course a kickoff party last
that's
night.
right, yeah,
And the Jonas Brothers played a concert. There were only like 1,000 people that were there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I get if you're into the Jonas Brothers, I guess it'd be cool for anybody. It's only 1,000 people. It'd be cool to be there. But imagine like you walk in, and everybody's like, "Excuse me, sir." Like, I'm Ben Griffin. They're like, right, and I'm Dave Smith. What the hell does that have to do with anything? He's like, no, I'm Ben. I'm Ben Griffin. I'm here for the concert. They're like, yeah, well,
I'm gonna win the tournament this week. Do you know who I am?
No idea who you are. Thanks today to Steve Maclin from TNA. Thanks also to Steve Beuerlein. We'll get that up in the greatest hits section of the Moose tab at glennclarkradio.com. Tomorrow, Stan back in studio?
I guess, yeah, we can have Stan back in studio.
Boy.
I forgot to run it by him. I mean,
top of things.
He typically is good about letting me know when he's not.
Trip to Bowie.
Yes, we will catch up with
Jerron Watts-Brown, newly acquired pitcher, and
Bo Smolka.
Bo Smolka will join us to talk about his cover story on Derrick Henry and talk about the Ravens preseason game number 2. Stuff and things. Thanks to everybody at Pressbox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, the Maryland 5-Star Game Day Men's Health, The BMW Championship, helpmygamblingproblem.org, Costas Inn, Maryland Sports. The Maryland Cycling Classic, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Thursday evening. Go Birds. Duke sucks.